Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we'll be talking about Gentoo Linux, which is my favorite Linux distribution, the only one that I donate anything actually. I have a monthly subscription for that distribution and it kind of doesn't make sense, guys, because this distribution is considered as one of the most difficult and way, guys, like way above my skill level. So, guys, I barely installed, I don't understand anything. I'm just barely surviving. Yeah, I have Gentoo because I'm stubborn, so I can. It's like spend 2 weeks time trying and failing and dying to every big boss because the installing Gentoo is like playing Dark Souls and having one boss after another. You know, preparing partition, installing kernel, installing bootloader, this and that. There are like few big bosses, and I was dying and keep repeating, and finally, like with some luck, I survived. So what is actually Gentoo? Gentoo is one of Linux distribution. It used to be super popular. It used to be in top 5 in the very past, like long time ago, but now it's actually losing popularity, unfortunately. Maybe at some point I switch as well if it will be too small, but I don't know. I still love it. I love this distribution. Uh, so why it's unique? Well, by the way, let's move the elephant away from the room. At least let's talk about the elephant. Does it game? Yes, it does. So normal Steam, you install Steam, and here you go. It is there. However, to install Steam, I needed wiki because I didn't know how to do it. But because I needed wiki, I understood why, for example, Steam requires 32-bit like dependency. I've learned a lot actually by installing Steam on Gentoo with all the explanation, what's going on and the problems. So it is by it games. However, I don't get the same performance as on Bazzite and CashOS, even though Gentoo used to be considered as the fastest distribution on the planet because Gentoo, everything you compile from source. And there's a special file called make.conf, and in that file, you tell the system what CPU you've got. And when you tell the system what CPU you've got, and when you compile from source, the compiler optimize everything for that CPU. That's the idea. And it used to be actually, it used to give a noticeable performance gains. But with modern hardware, there is there's no such gains actually. And the downside is you can lose performance if you do wrong or if you don't do enough optimizations. Like I still get a lot of FPS, but guys, I get way more on CashOS or Bazzite. Still nice, still works, but I need to work out, guys. I need to fix it. Actually, just because of making this video for preparation to make this video, I find out that I'm actually losing a little bit of performance on Gentoo. So I will work out about this. So what else is special about this distribution? So, guys, let me show you, by the way. One of the most important uh, command you can ever learn is fast fetch. That's the most important Linux command. So you can show off actually what you're using. What is interesting about Gentoo, people don't show off normally Gentoo. Like with Arch, people say, oh, I use Arch, by the way, like this is a joke. Arch used to be, well, is considered a very difficult distribution as well. And Gentoo is considered as too difficult. But normally Gentoo users don't mention that. I personally try to avoid talking about Gentoo like in general because I don't want to be exposed, yeah, as a total noob, total idiot who doesn't know. So that's me, yeah. That's why I'm not talking. But what is interesting, the community is so experienced. Like I installed DaVinci Resolve, took me 2 days, and I broke the next day. On third day it was broken. I barely used it, and broke it. And I said, okay, done it. But when I installed and I proudly shared with the community on Reddit, people told me, oh, I'm supposed to write a wiki article and guides how to do it. Like people expect you to contribute, like to be a developer. Like people all are almost surprised that you are not. Or for example, I have problem with this performance. I go to Gentoo forum. That's me, by the way. I ask about this, and I have moderator, site admin, and developer talking to me. Like I'm one of them, guys, pretty much. Well, I'm asking questions, but the community is like you you know that there's a lot of people smarter than you in the room, that you are not the brightest bulb in the room. So I'm learning from better people. It's very humbling, but also the way you install Gentoo is very unique. So let's go back here. You install everything from source, as I said, but the installation, you choose one of this, yeah, one of this minimal installation is trolling. It's a joke, by the way. For most people, 99% of people, this is like playing Dark Souls on level 1. Don't upgrade your weapon, yeah. Don't pick this one unless you really have no choice for whatever reason. Maybe there are some reason to use it, but for normal people, never use it because it's just text mode only. When this one, Live GUI, is like beautiful, perfect, full KDE desktop, super easy, you know. Gentoo Live GUI is like perfect, beautiful vanilla KDE with everything. So you pick this one, you have Firefox browser, and what you do, you do like that. You have half screen, and you do like that, and you pretty much go through handbook and you install Gentoo. There's like an instruction. By the way, it's really scary when you see it first time, really scary. And the fact is, lots of these things is just like a lot of information, but not instructions what exactly you need to do. Like you don't need this. This is very interesting. There's a lot of knowledge here, but you start from here, preparing the disk. Yeah. And this is one of the biggest trolling. Guys, this is exactly like Dark Souls. I don't know if you play Dark Souls, but Dark Souls love to troll players. Yeah, the very first boss is a big troll, one of the most difficult. You're supposed to die. Guys, this is like Dark Souls. I'm telling you. Fdisk, even the biggest nerds, the biggest Linux nerds, as far as I know, I've checked online, instead of Fdisk, use CFdisk. If you really want to do it in text mode, you add C and make it 10 times easier. I don't know. This is like if somebody wanted to pick the most difficult tool to prepare your partition for no good reason, they would choose Fdisk. And that what was chosen. Guys, master trolling. And what is better? Remember when I told you that the tool, the Gentoo give you, that suggests for you to use, is full KDE. Yes, full KDE, ladies and gentlemen, comes with this software. And this software, KDE Partition Manager, does the same thing. So this is my Gentoo. Boot, root, bam, bam, done. Guys, done. Yeah? Or you spend 2 hours to decipher what it means, and with a fear of deleting your important data, you try to follow this instruction to make your partition. Or, bam, bam, root, boot. Root and boot. Guys, master trolling, beautiful trolling. Yeah. So as I said, the way you install Gentoo, you pretty much the fix system. So you fix your partition, you configure your partition like file fstab. That was the biggest boss for me because it took me by surprise. I will show you. Nano etc fstab. So I was dying on this boss so many times. I didn't understand that if I have NVMe drive, actually, let me show you. I have more than one. Yeah, NVMe 1 and 1 P2. Yeah, I've got 3 NVMe and they swap names. Like SATA drives don't do it. NVMe drives swap names between each other. That took me by a big surprise. So I have to use these long names instead. So I've learned my lesson. That was me. The biggest boss was that. When I know, it's way easier. The boss is way easier, exactly like Dark Souls. And when you finish the game, yeah, like in Dark Souls, and post game, the game is becoming like so stupid easy. Like my wife is using my Gentoo. She didn't even realize that she's using Gentoo. I told her, hey, by the way, this is Linux. It's what you mean? What, it's not Windows? No, it's not Windows, it's Gentoo. So my wife is using Gentoo, my kids are using Gentoo. When it's everything ready, it's super easy. It's just the installation that is a challenge. So why do I even use it? Why I don't use like normal distribution, like a normal people are using, like Mint, Fedora, Bazzite, CachyOS. I use them as well. I've got, as you've seen, I've got few distributions. I'm also a distro hopper. So got Windows, I've got Gentoo, I've got Bazzite, CachyOS. I think I've got Zorin, and I think I've got Mint over there as well. I'm not sure. By the way, I'm gonna do more benchmarks comparing non-gaming distribution to real gaming distribution. So I'm gonna compare Bazzite and CachyOS to distributions like Fedora and Mint. I think this will be interesting. Actually, I've done some videos showing how difficult it is to compare performance, like super popular. This were my most popular videos, some of the most popular videos explain why it's so difficult to compare performance between Linux and Windows, and even between distribution as well. It's not as easy. However, I think I've got a way how to do it. It will be very simplistic, but I think it will be good enough. And nobody does it like that. It's probably very bad. Yeah, it's probably not supposed to be done like that. But guys, I think I'm gonna do it the wrong way. You know, I will do it, guys. I will do it. I warn you, I will do it. So if you want to see more, I'm gonna do it. So why do I like this distribution? Why do I like? Even though it's such a pain to install and there is so many problems and my performance is not really that good. The performance will be good, guys. I'm gonna solve it because it's also a little bit like a game itself. It's a kind of addictive, being with these people trying to sort it out. For example, one of the way people said is to use Gentoo overlay. This is like users add extras, and for example, people share install CachyOS kernel. CachyOS kernel is considered as a really good one, really nicely optimized, and yeah, there's an option to install CachyOS or do it yourself. Just copy the config and make your own from source, even smaller, even more optimized, everything cut out, just cut the fat off, make it super tiny, super fast, super optimized, even faster. If somebody wants really fast, really optimized, Gentoo is the way because you compile everything from source. And also, like, for example, you see that normally Gentoo doesn't even come with sudo or sudo. The normal, like default ways, use su, which is switch user or super user. And for example, emerge sudo or sudo, I don't know how we pronounce that, is optional. It's one of few tools that does it. Yeah. I personally like su, but most people these days use sudo, got used to that. And all these options, because you compile, you can make smaller or like add-in functions or remove functions to make the app smaller, and also compile for exactly your CPU. So the process would look like that. And because of all this text for a single app, it takes longer. It takes way longer. So a lot of people don't want that, but it takes longer, but it's optimizing for you, yeah, for with your settings. Or de-optimize, you can make it worse. So yeah, guys, I will be doing more benchmarks. This is not really a benchmark. It's more about me talking how it is to game on Gentoo, and you can game like just like on any other distribution. You just install games and play. But I'm not happy with the performance just yet. I need to make it better. It can be, with a little bit of effort, the fastest distribution. Or if you don't put any effort, it's potentially the slowest as well. So it's definitely not for everybody. Um, but yeah, I don't recommend it as well. But if you like tinkering, or it can feel like a game in itself. So maybe if you feel like you play too much and you want something to replace gaming, do something else, and gives you that satisfaction, this can be as well. Gentoo can give you that feeling a little bit like gaming. Like the system itself is a little bit like gaming, like Dark Souls, achievements, finishing this, defeating this boss and that. And I personally, yeah, guys, love it. I just love it. And when you are in the post game, it can be actually very easy and very satisfying to use that. You know, doing uh, just I don't know. It's just fun, guys. It's just fun. Um, yeah. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.